Yo, I am hyphen X, and welcome to the Great Conversation Podcast, where we indulge in healthy dialogue about topics that are important in today's society and culture. Man, oh man. Hey, guys, you guys know that we're making some big moves here on the program, and that we're going to be moving on over taking the podcast. It's still going to be available on Spotify. We're also on Google Podcasts now, and we'll soon be on iTunes as well. But right here in the 815-779 area, you can tune in very soon, Sundays, 1 to 2 on 105.7 Flight Radio out of Freeport, Illinois. You can go online at 365.com. I'm sorry, 365live.com, and you can search the Great Conversation on there and Flight Radio, and we'll come up on your screen. Okay, got a very special guest with us today. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Who we got? Hold on, let me unmute you.
All right. How you doing? How you doing, fam?
I'm good, bro. Go ahead, introduce yourself. Let the crowd know who we got on the line.
All right. How you doing, family? My name is Dominick, the Swift Angel, aka the Elephant in the Room. And I want to thank you for having me come on tonight on the Great Conversation. I appreciate it, brother.
Oh man, I'm glad to have you on. I'm glad to have you on here. Now, just hang with us, man. We're gonna get to our main topic here in a minute. But first, we want to talk about some things that's going on here in the 815-779 area code area here. Some local news here. City Council has voted unanimously tonight to fund the significant expansion of the Rockford Promise with a $1.5 million annual contribution eligible to Rockford Public School 205 students. They can earn a bachelor's degree from NIU with all tuition and general fees paid by Rockford Promise and NIU. They're saying that this is a game changer for our students and our community. Bro, you heard something about this?
Yeah, I heard a little bit about it, man. Yeah, just very, very little. But yeah. I have heard. Yeah, I have heard. Something about it.
Like, I do think this is a great idea. This would be some type of way to hopefully these people will have some type of employment here, so that when these people go to college and earn degrees, they can come back to the Rockford area and help build it up. What I did recently kind of found out is that what they're doing now is they're adding on recipients from private schools, I believe, can also receive public tax dollars to go to college. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I have a whole nother scenario. I'm pretty much into what we call social engineering. I think those cycles have to be broke first. Because a lot of our children we've sent away to school and they didn't come back. So I like to start when I want to re-educate something. I want to start at the core. We got to change their minds and guide them back this way, because once they get into what we call active higher learning,
yeah,
it seems that they don't come back to us. So I think we need to change some of the areas of social engineering. First. I think we need to start there first. That's just my preference.
All right. So what would you think would be some of the first things? Because I hear you stressing on we send a lot of kids to school and then they don't come back. I say because they don't have anything to come back to.
Well, no, they don't have anything to come back to. But the reason that we send them actual reason that we send our children off to school is to come back and help with from which they come from. They left nothing, and that's one of the reasons we need them back. That's why we send them off, so they can come back to assist in where they, when they left, they knew there wasn't nothing here. So,
yeah, that's true.
It's more or less, so it's more or less, and it's not their fault. It's just it's more or less the indoctrination of the higher learning institution,
Yeah. Now, are you from the Rockford area?
Via Chicago, but I've been down here in Rockford now, I would say about 17 years.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we adopted you pretty much.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So like you've seen, so you've been 17 years, so you've seen where there's been jobs here, and then jobs have been taken out, opportunity and whatnot. I do like the aspect that this will take care of tuition and any general fees, because one of the biggest problems with college is that you go to college and then you accrue debt, and so when you accrue debt, now you're stuck into this capitalistic society where you have to pay this debt off, find a job, pay this debt off, but now we're looking for them to come back here, but we have nothing to, help them pay their bill, for
Right,
the most
right,
part.
and that's understood, and I understand. It's not a factor of them. We're looking for them to come back, but it's more or less. That's a trap as well. They go to school to pick up a degree, and then in this degree, they find themselves working for someone. When all the time, when you accrue mastery in higher learning, it's supposed to be to institute you and your people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, real talk.
You know, so right. So we have to more or less change the genre of that. So we got to start from the bottom all the way to the top. We just because that's those are traps. I call them traps. You know what I'm saying? Especially debt traps. You know what I'm saying? You accumulate all this debt and you find yourself.
I think I think that what needs to be taught more is the power of individualism inside of a community structure. Everyone
Right.
knowing their
Right. Well,
role
it's
and
more
their
like
part.
you also got to.
No, go ahead. Oh, I think
Uh,
yeah, go right ahead. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, exactly, X. I agree with you 100%. Play your position. But like gentrification, gentrification ain't nothing more than privatizing. And Rockford is going through a gentrification pro, process because I've seen it done in big cities, and it's the same way. These particular establishments are going up profit or urban anything. They're going up to generate mad finance, and they're
Yeah,
moving people out. They're moving people out and integrating them in different areas. And actually, if you want to be quite frank with you, actually the violence and so forth that's taking place is when you take someone out of an area that they've been in for so long and just place them down in other areas. And
mm,
then you have oppositional, places where they have to strive again, where they grew up over here. So it's a lot of mischief going on in our government, from the local, from the state, and from the federal.
right. And I do agree with that. I believe that like for example, even with the inclusion of private school children being able to have access to these public dollars, this came from we'll say people in a better position, because if you're going to a private school, it's naturally assumed that you are in a uh, different position to be able to pay uh, for that private education. Uh, and it took the people that had this bigger tax bracket, if you will, they complained to the city council and to the mayor. And this is who the city council and the mayor decided to listen to and also grant. Because I read a comment and I just want to reiterate what that comment said. The comment spoke just very simply: when will private schools benefit public schools students? And if we can get something going on with that, then I say it's a fair exchange. You know.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. But like right now, I'm in the process, X, of putting together dialogue or some dialogue for re-education of urban children. You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we send our children to school and we want a better education for them, but they're actually dealing with issues of social issues.
Yeah.
And we can't have one without the other. We have to deal with the most prudent, which is the social issues of you know miseducation, uh, chasing illusions. It's a
Mm.
lot of things that's vital that has to be dealt with. and we looking to get a great education from them, but they're being manipulated by so many other things. So we got to get some balance there. It's like, it's more or less like, to my understanding, it's more or less like we're trying to deal with something without and leaving another part of it out.
Yeah, you gotta. I guess I always look at scissors, how scissors work together to make a cut. You know what I'm saying? We looking at one, and now it's just a knife. It's still lethal. You know what I'm saying? But it's not going to be as effective. It's not going to give you that clean cut like you need it. It's going to be a jagged cut. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. We can't deal with one issue and then ignore the other. Now that was
just work together, like you said.
Yeah. It has to all come together. Now I just want to switch gears here to national news here. Now in national news, in the first fully operational mission for SpaceX crew, the Dragon capsule, 4 astronauts took off from the Florida Kennedy Space Center on a flight bound to the International Space Station out there in space. Now, I look at this as the power of a private citizen. I'm sorry, money and a private citizen. Because he's able to have a product, or if you will, a service, or just a rocket, and he's able to. I'm talking about Elon Musk here, and he's able to employ people and whatnot, and have them shoot off into space and make government contracts. You know what I'm saying? I think that's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? I think that's pretty dope that we got. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what the mission is. I know that he has some fantasies about us having life on Mars, or going to live on Mars. You know what I'm saying? That's where he wants to die and be buried and live. So, I mean, I'm interested to see how far this SpaceX is gonna go.
Yeah, well, I find it fascinating, but like I was, I'm in the streets, I'm in the trenches, right? Yeah. So what I do find fascinating is, where the government at this point in time with this crisis of the virus and unsettlement and uprising and so forth, with all this madness going on, and you can't come up with you can come up with foreign aid, but you can't come up with the finance to help the people out across America. But do you know how much gas it costs to go to Mars?
Yeah.
So I can't really see that. I can see that, Father. I pay attention to everything that's going on, but it's a crisis right now, and
SpaceX is not a government. It's not a government program. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I know, but NASA is behind it. NASA is the mother.
Well,
SpaceX is not. Matter of fact, I know for a fact they were speaking about it. NASA is actually the overseer of his operation.
Well, that would make sense. That would make sense.
Yeah, because it's safety.
Yeah, for liability purposes and whatnot. So yeah, right. I definitely get that. I remember we're going to talk about this later on a little bit, but I do remember a point in time where I believe some teachers and some students. I don't know if this is like the late '80s or early '90s.
I don't think you were born yet when the space shuttle blew up.
What year was that?
That was 85, 83. It's in the 80s,
yeah,
84, 85.
Yeah,
I was watching it when it happened. Yeah.
See, I was born. Okay, let me put that. I was only two solar cycles in, but I was here. but I was here. I was around. I was kicking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, hey, guys, I just wanted to say this real quick, man. Hey, catch us on Flight Radio at 105.7 on Sundays from 1 to 2 p.m. Coming up real soon. Also, catch us on Spotify. You can also catch us on YouTube and Facebook as well, man. So we're just sitting here. We're just talking about some things that happen here locally and also nationally as well. And I just want to let you guys know that we do have advertising space that is available. You can contact us here on Facebook at The Great Conversation Let's Talk, or you can email us at greatconversationletstalk@gmail.com. Now, this brings us to a very interesting segment for me right here. Bro, I've always had a problem remembering my age. Always. My cousins and whatnot, they'll tell you, man, like, one time I forgot I was 28. I forgot I was 28 and I thought I was 26. You know what I'm saying? But I was saying it with so much conviction. You know what I'm saying? So I have to remember that I was born in 83. You know what I'm saying? So, and what kind of helps me with this is our new little segment called This is What Happened in 83. Okay? So so this is what happened in 83, man. Motorola introduced the first cell phone to the public.
Right.
Dun, dun, dun. And the world has never been the same since.
Right.
This shows you the power of access to knowledge. Not so much knowledge, but access to knowledge. Because when the cell phone came out, I remember pagers, flip phones, Prime Code. You had to have minutes on your phone, and then you had unlimited minutes with Sprint after 9 p.m. And now this is a computer in my hand now. You know what I'm saying? Now it's not no secret. A little older than me. So
no, hey, no, I guess you're right then. Okay.
so tell me, you remember a time when there was no cell phones?
Yeah,
and
sure.
you remember when people were using pay phones and things of that nature. Can you tell me how the cell phone or the metamorphosis of the cell phone kind of shaped your communication in your life?
Well, I'm 52 at the moment. I'm 52 going on 53. I would remember when there was no cell phones, nothing but pay phones and so forth. So I go back a minute, I guess some decades. But how it shaped my life is like how it shaped everybody's life. It more or less thrust us into the 21st century. It's the age of information. And I remember the first phone that I was introduced to as when they started coming out was the brick. The big brick phone. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that phone. And then they had another phone that was actually a smartphone. And the only reason we didn't know that it was a smartphone because it was for lawyers and business. I mean, it was called a BlackBerry. You remember that?
I do remember the BlackBerry. Yep.
Right. But that was the first smartphone until they introduced it to everyone, as it is today. But it was out then, but it was just for rich and wealthy and powerful people.
Oh, yeah. It went from the military, rich, powerful folks, then us.
And then us, right.
Well, I think I might need to change that. It probably went from the Chinese to the military to rich people than us. Hey, bro, tell everybody where they can catch you at. Tell us about your podcast.
Yeah, I got a podcast that I'm running. I'm pretty much about to expand, but I've been running a podcast for about 9 months now on Facebook Live. It's called The Elephant in the Room, and it views 7 o'clock Mondays and Thursdays. What happens is we bring up a subject matter and we try to talk about the things that no one wants to talk about because that's what the allegory is with the elephant in the room. It's them things that we see but we refuse to talk about. So that's what the show is about. It's unfiltered. You know what I mean? And things that we have a tendency to turn our head to or ail us and we just don't want to talk about it. Well, this show has been brought forth so we can talk about those things.
Yeah, I tuned into a few episodes before, and it's some really enriching conversation. It's very enriching. It's like, how can I put it? It's like being a child listening to grown folks' conversation, but they know you there and they letting you listen. You've been accepted in. You turn into it, and I love what I'm hearing. And I'll be like, and sometimes I'm not gonna say any topics or anything, but it do be the elephant in the room. Like, why are we not? why are we not talking about this? It's very true to its name. It really is, man. All right, man. You listen to the Great Conversation podcast, man. We'll be right back. am the I am-X, man. You are listening to the Great Conversation podcast. I'm chilling here with my mans here, Dominick, from the Elephant in the Room podcast, man. We're just sitting here talking, man. We're talking about cell phones and how they shaped our lives, because that's what happened back in '83 when your boy touched down to the planet. So did the cell phone. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
So that's just how it went down. Now we got a couple other segments that we're going to go into here in a little bit, but I want you guys to know that we do have advertising spots available. You can get in contact with us at the Great Conversation Let's Talk at gmail.com about any of your services, products that you may have that you want to get out here in the 815 or even abroad in the digital world as well. You can also message us on Facebook at Great Conversation Let's Talk as well. We also have we want to know about your community events, any community events that are free to the public, workshops, things of that nature, giveaways, Toys for Tots, anything like that. Guys, reach out to us. We're bringing back our What's Going On 815 section, where we will go ahead and promote all things local that are free to the public at no charge to the event planner, no charge to the host. So we want all community events to benefit our community and people to know, because a lot of the time we have some of these great events going on and people just don't find out till it's too late. So we definitely want guys to get in contact with us. Once again, that's Great Conversation Let's Talk at gmail.com or right here on Facebook at the Great Conversation Let's Talk. Now, we also have a new segment that we got here. We've been keeping up with what's going on politically in the political circus, as I like to call it. We have a new president-elect, I'm assuming, by Joe Biden. And we have a new segment here in honor of our 46th president, Joey Biden. And it's called You Ain't Black If. Okay? You ain't black if. Okay, so here's one. Here's an example, because some people have a hard time with this. So you ain't black if when you make a purchase at a gas station or a convenience store and you don't take a double look at the clerk if he don't offer you a bag for more than 2 items. If I got chips and a Mystic, guess what? I need a bag. Give me one of them. Give me one of them black bags. You know what I'm saying? So, guys, if you have anything that's like that, go ahead, email us. You can go ahead and drop us a message in the inbox, and we want to share that here on our show, man. Don't forget, man, that's in honor of our 46th president-elect right now, Joey Biden. You ain't black if. All right. So also, guys, we also have our sidebar conversations that happen once a week, and that's the time where you guys can come in, you can talk to us. We'll have different subject matters, and that's what made me want to talk to my mans right here. He joined us on one of our sidebar conversations. So, guys, a sidebar conversation can actually turn up into a bigger conversation here. Okay, now we're going to take a quick pause here for a second. Pause this. So yeah, check us out with our sidebar conversation on our Facebook page. Don't forget to follow us at the Great Conversation Let's Talk on Facebook there. Okay. Now, let's see here. Let's see where we're going here. We live, baby. So you've been in the Rockford area for 17 years. What do you think are some of Rockford's top 3 issues in our community? Top 3.
Well, one of the main issues that's always been plaguing Rockford is the police brutality. That's always. When I first came to Rockford, I couldn't believe how brutal they were when it came to different areas in Rockford. You know, I was down here when Barmore was killed and so forth, the young brother inside the church. And and I've been down here for a couple of events, and I just saw how strong they were and how intimidating they were to the classes in Rockford. That's one of them. And seeing it's hard for me to say things about Rockford because Rockford actually saved my life. A lot of people that live in Rockford don't see Rockford as I do, or that were born in Rockford. They don't see Rockford as I do. Rockford was good to me. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
because you coming from a different type of environment. Yeah.
You're right. I'm coming from a different type of environment, but I did see that, and the same thing plaguing Rockford that's plaguing anyone else. The well, I like to call it the stealth part of gentrification. Rockford being in this transformation presence for a while now without others even realizing it. It's all, they've been moving people around like chess pieces since I've been down here. And if it wasn't for this virus taking place, we'll already be the whole west side of Rockford and everywhere else would be looking different.
Yeah, it does look like the city. The city is trying to take back the waterfront. That's what I'll call it. They're trying to take back the water. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're trying to take back.
I'm listening.
No, go ahead, bro.
But with them trying to take back, with them taking back what they want, they still ain't properly placing the people in proper places. You know what I mean? Which leaves,
they don't care, bro. Let's just be honest.
Right.
It's not a. It's
right.
They don't. They're okay. So it's not a secret that people are. There's a council, and this council is running the city as a business because a city is a business.
Right, exactly.
And they all have their sections and what they want in their sections, but they're only listening to the ones that they believe vote. So,
right.
So I look at when I hear that and I look at that, I'm just like, you have to also govern over the ones that don't. And you also have to have their interests in mind. But I think that might be me just being naive and looking at that from a utopian standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at it like when I first started, actually spotting you. I saw you recently out there on the front line in activation, or far as the active movement out there. You had a lot of energy flowing, and I was looking on Facebook, and that's how I noticed you. And I was communicating with you, dipping and dabbing with you. But that first of all, my whole thing is we're gonna have to start loving each other a little more. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you're expecting someone to do something for you at the same time, you asking the same people to do something for you that's doing something against you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's somewhat a losing battle, unless the power structure start coming from within, meaning that we need to start doing little things with each other and displaying that energy with each other first. Or that's just how it is. We have to get each other in order, because we can't ask help from an enemy that that's actually, it's not going to happen like that. But
now,
what we can do is help each other.
Yeah. Now, a lot of Black people will cringe when you say when you use the terminology enemy. You know what I'm saying? When they say when we say, the enemy, can you clarify who the enemy is?
The enemy is the unjust system. The system, we're not talking about an individual, we're talking about a system. Just like white supremacy. White supremacy is not a white person. It's a system.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with that. Right. It's a system that's been in play for quite some time for superiority purposes. It's a casting system. And so a lot of times when people cringe, because it sounds like, oh, he would go with the white man demonstrate. No, we don't even care about that anymore. That's enough of that. You know what I'm saying? This more or less is a system that has to be actually dismantled. You understand what I'm saying? Because actually what's happening is the system is working, and you asking them to stop things that's working, and it's been working for a long time.
I think that's where we lose sight. Because we always, the system is broken. No, it's working. It's working the way it was designed to work, and we're tired of it. So of course, the first thing is to hey, you stop hitting me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You say something, hey, stop. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna tell someone, and I think we're approaching the third and final step. Well, I call the 3 strikes and you out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
cause
I
go ahead.
mean, yeah, yeah. I don't like to, because in all actuality, see, we have all these unrealistic virtues when it comes to, because we're so miseducated. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about from a USC or one of the higher learning developments. I'm talking about miseducated about ourselves, right?
Yeah,
And we live up under all these fake pretenses, far as like for instance, one, just to be frank, in our head we think the white man's scared of us, and they're not. You ain't never killed many people as white people have, and all these are fake pretenses. We need to actually, well, what we need to do, like right now, for instance, right now, what we actually witnessing is something that we didn't witness because we wasn't born yet. It was called a civil war.
yeah,
It was two fractions about to go to war for power, right? And we witnessed it again. The only difference is, it really ain't our business. Our business is with each other.
man. Okay, you just said something right there. We about to jump back into that. You're listening. You're listening to the Great Conversation podcast, man. We'll be right back.
In the booming stages of many small businesses, a lot of focus and resources go into the acquisition of new customers. A vast amount of small businesses fail because they only react to marketing. Here at Roots and Branches Mobile Marketing, we pride ourselves on being with you every step of the way while growing your business from the soil up.
Yeah, man. So like when I kind of, hey, hey, we're back. I'm sorry, guys. We're having a deep conversation here. I got a little thrown off a little bit, man. I'm back, man. Welcome back to the Great Conversation podcast, man. I am the I Am Hyphen Next, your host. You got my man's right here, Dominick Castleman-El, from the Elephant in the Room podcast, man. We talking about some real deep stuff here, man. Because I just want to dive in now. I just want to
Okay.
dive in now because just for the simple fact that we are talking about civil injustice, we're talking about how we need to come together, but I think we kind of get construed on who we is. I think that all black people are not the same. You know what I'm saying? I don't think all black people um, are able to work in unison. I believe that we have to work with the ones that want to be worked with. You know?
Of course. That's of course, because a lot of times well, the reason why is because a lot of times we might say unity from our mouth, but our hearts are separated. You know what I mean? Meaning that our mental is separated. So yeah, there's going to be casualties in that, and there are also a lot of double agents that has to be identified. You know what I mean? Because we have brothers who are sincere in this movement, but you also have other brothers who are with the establishment. But because he looks like you think he's your brother, man, and friend, but he's not. So we have to really have our antennas up, as I would say.
Yeah, at all time.
At
And
all times.
and I just want to now. I think you also said something very profound, and this is just crazy because I don't think you said it verbatim how I'm going to say it, but I know that I felt the vibe, I felt the energy that we don't know who we are. You know what I'm saying? To begin with, you know what I'm saying? We don't know who we or how my people say we don't know who we is. You
Well,
know what I'm saying?
you know, to be quite frank with you, X, that's the ultimate problem.
Yeah,
You understand? It's like I was saying earlier, how we'll jump over things that need to be addressed to deal with things that we're not ready to deal with. How can you deal with something so grave as racial injustice when you yourself don't know who you are? And we don't take the time out to think it's important, right? But see, the thing about this is your enemy know who you are. And when your enemy know who you are, it's like you playing checkers and they playing chess.
yeah,
It's a no-win situation. If someone know how great you are, as a matter of fact, it's so stupid, to be honest with you, that the individual in which deceiving you is actually playing your part.
That's a lot. You're gonna have to break that down. I need you to cut that up in
Okay.
small bite sizes so that we can eat it and digest it.
Well, once you start finding out who you are, that means you have to go back a little bit more than Black history. Black history is no more than slave history. That's all.
Yeah,
You know?
okay. Yeah.
Right. So you have to go a little bit further back to find out actually who you are. And a lot of our brothers don't seem a lot of our brothers don't seem to find our brothers and sisters don't seem to find out how important that is. And what I mean by that is there's something that took place called whitewashing. Whitewashing is when someone takes your place and your identity from you. That's why in the early part of slavery they say they hid your history. And what I mean by that is if someone has your history, that means they've taken your identity. It's been an identity theft that has took place, right? So they have you thinking low about yourself as a Negro or as a lesser or a lesser being, when all the time you're the cream of the crop,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So until you find out actually who you are, and then not only that, you got to start being who you are.
Yeah, what good is it to find out who you are if you can't be who you are? Now, some people will say, "Hey, sounds like black supremacy." What do you say to that?
I say the same thing. Though some people are, well, you have some people so unconscious, and unconscious is subliminal, a subtopic topic for dead.
Yeah.
Let's just say it. When you're unconscious, you're dead. Where they actually speaking from a voice in which they've been trained. There's a different thing. There's difference in being trained and being educated. You know what I mean? You can train a monkey. And so that's where they be coming from, you know. But when you're educated, education is what's woke up in you and brought out of you. It's not put in you. It's when you're being woke up. So yeah, of course you're gonna have those particular people say it sounds like white supremacy and so forth. And that's our problem. And here's the actual problem. When you take, and I must be frank with you, when you take your titty out your baby mouth and put it in your enemy's mouth. And that's what's going on. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. So in plain for my people that maybe that jumped over their head is that when the breast milk is there to nourish and to develop, and when you take nourishment and development away from your seed, away from your community, and you place that somewhere else,
exactly,
what happens to the baby? The baby becomes malnourished. Becomes malnourished. And has to settle for other types of food. Bro, you preaching right now.
Yeah, and that's actually why we can say that our children now, this thing that got so deep, X, where our children are stillborn, and that means born dead.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So now we have 3 and 4 generations already dead before they were born.
Because this generation crazy. This is I ain't never seen nothing like this.
Yeah, me neither. But it was always prophesied that it was coming.
Oh, okay.
Right. You know, but something can be done about it, and something is being done about it. A lot of people don't understand. Something has to happen for something to happen. Even the virus.
True.
You understand what I'm saying? The virus and everything else that's taking place is either going to kill you or set you free.
True.
You know,
true.
If something don't happen, we'll still stay in our same conditions, and that's the issue. We're in love with our conditions.
Okay. Now the elephant in the room just stepped on some toes. Okay. My man said that we are in love with our conditions. Let me tell you how that may resonate with some people. There ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm the way that I am. This is how I am. We have to stop looking at personal development as square business. You know,
exactly.
like
exactly.
Betterment doesn't mean that you're a sellout. You know what I'm saying? Or does it? You can sell out to yourself. Sometimes sometimes the best athletes, they not only practice with their team, but they do a lot of individual practices alone where no one else sees them. So
Right.
isolation and individuality is a must when it comes to growth and development.
Right.
It's
Right.
but it doesn't have to be the only thing that's going on. You know what
Well,
I'm
I heard.
saying?
I like, and it's cool. I like the way you put other questions in there, what others think. See, at this time though, the pressure is so heightened, where it don't even matter what someone who can't think thinks. You understand what I'm saying? So that don't even matter anymore. And the door actually has been locked. It ain't that we trying to get in; they need to get in.
Yeah, that's true.
So that it's not even about how someone feel, because this ain't about feeling. This is
No,
about
it's
knowing.
not.
Right.
It's
Right.
not. It's not. And I think that's where that's where society's kind of messed up. We are an emotional society, and we've always taught that when you move on emotion, anything can happen. You have to. I think emotion wakes you up. It shakes you. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
after you have that emotion, you must move in logic and reason.
Right.
After that, you know what I'm saying? You can't, because I've done some emotional things before, and I either
Yeah.
live to the credit, or I'll be like, I'm just like, man, I have to live with this consequence and keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
It was something that you had spoke about, but actually, the remedy is there, because actually it's all it's the execution of the black man and the black woman. You understand what I'm saying?
woo,
That's
whoa,
the
whoa, 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 whoa. He just hit the nail on the head right there. And we're going to jump right back into that. You're listening to the Great Conversation Podcast, man. We'll be right back. All right, man. Thank you for coming back to us, man. I am -X, your host, man, to the Great Conversation Podcast. I'm talking to my man's here, Dominick from the Elephant in the Room podcast, man. And my man's just dropped a bomb before we left. He said that the biggest problem that's plaguing us is the relationship between the black man and the black woman. And anybody that knows -X, this is one of my favorite subjects. Now, now, you said something not too long ago in one of our sidebar conversations on our Facebook page. Look us up at Great Conversation. Let's talk on Facebook. Join the sidebar conversation. You said that the woman gives birth to a nation, and the woman gives birth inside of that nation. The population in that nation, I'm paraphrasing, the population of that nation is gods and kings.
exactly.
I'm about to give you the floor, and I want you to educate myself and our listeners on who a woman is, what a god is, and what is a king.
Okay. You remember, well, earlier I was speaking about how we were misled and miseducated in our history. Once you dig deep off into your history, you'll find out who we actually are. And when we speak about the black man and woman being the original people, that means we actually came from the DNA of God. You understand? And these are the secrets that our enemy know about us. That's why it's a must that the supremacy system keep us asleep 24/7. Why? Because they know in the whole totality of it, we're a phenomenon. We can wake up if you take your foot off the gas. And that ain't what they want. You understand what I'm saying? We are actually an offspring of God. For real.
Now, when you say that, right? When you say that, now my mind always goes back to the Bible. I come from Christianity. And when and just to make that plain, when God put the breath of life into man, that is the God DNA. So to live life is to be godly. So I understand exactly what you mean when you say when you say that. Please continue.
Well, and I'm not even gonna run it through a religion because
Okay, go ahead.
I've been in so many chambers. As a kid, I've been through the Catholic Church, the Baptist Church, the Christian Church, the Islamic Church, the Moore Science Temple Church. I've been in a lot of schools of thought, right? I'm not a member of anything. I'm a representative of a lot of things now, so I'll be able to move freely. And what I'm trying to say is that if I've studied the Bible. I don't just read the Bible, and I got one with me at all times because I'm an advocate of studying, right? Study thyself for your own self-approval, right? And in saying that, all you have to do is listen to what our brother, man, and friend Jesus said. He said, and he meant it just like he said it. He said, "Ye are all gods." And when he he meant that. He was trying to wake the people up into themselves. At that time and place 2,000 years ago, they were Israelites, and he was beckoning with a mission from God to go wake his people up, because those same Israelites were in the same conditions we are in today. These conditions ain't changed for 2,000 years. You understand what I'm saying? So and when we say wake someone up, we mean wake them up into God's mind. It's a mind thing. Everything is cognitive. The whole essence of everybody is your mind. And once you wake your mind up, you'll understand that you and God is one. That female is a God as well. Matter of fact, that female, if you go deeper off into your studying, you'll find out that she was God.
Now that's where a lot of the split happened.
Where the split took place. The split took place for male chauvinism.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, that's why the split. See, there's a lot of psychological games being played on our people, and that's when we're talking about once they can wake up, and it's hard to wake up at that coma because that coma been on you so long. It's been on you so long. It's been bombarded on you through imagery.
Yeah.
So imagery has been used, and that's what a lot of us are suffering from. But we can't keep using that as an excuse. You understand what I'm saying? Once you find the truth out, you need to digest it.
Yeah, you got to.
Or you'll stay in your ignorance.
You got to get it out. You got to digest it and get it out. Yeah.
See, what a lot of them don't know, if they go do a little more deeper studying, they'll find out that the Greek Empire, which wasn't an empire at first, Socrates, Aristotle, and all those particular ones, they saw the gods actually on the ground in Egypt, because Greece and Egypt right next to each other. They studied among the Comitian gods, right? But through their psychology, what they did was they took the word spirit and put it in the sky, right? And now you got millions and trillions of people looking to the sky for God, when all the time, if I'm not mistaken, the brother Justice Jesus said, if you're looking for God or looking for heaven, where do you look? Look within.
Within, it dwells on the inside.
Yes. Yeah, so we study looking in the sky.
Now, what I'm hearing you say is that the original man are the offspring, men and women are the offspring of God. What are the offsprings of God? And by default, that the black man and the black woman are the original man and woman of the planet. So are you saying in plain that black people are the god and goddesses of this planet?
Ain't no question, without doubt or contradiction. Yeah, and that's the biggest secret that's not told. That's what you call the elitists. The elitists know all these things, and that's why you got this virus and these different attacks on black men and attacks on black women, but mostly black men because of the loins that sit between his legs. Do you know? Do you know if we all could love one another? You know that, right? But if they didn't keep chaos up, if we start loving each other, we'll start having sex with one another, and then the whole earth will be black again.
Well, some will argue that no matter where the black man's seed goes, that child becomes him.
It's obvious.
That's that dominant.
You don't even have to be a scientist to see that. That's obvious. Let's just come on. Let's be serious. We ain't got to pacify this comment.
Yeah,
that's obvious.
At all. We ain't got to pacify it at all. And what I'm hearing, a lot of people are like, oh, that's that black supremacy talk. It sounds like black supremacy because we're not used to hearing black people spoken about in a supreme being way. You know what I'm saying? That's why it seems so in your face, because anytime that a true statement in what's the word I'm looking for, confronts a lie, the lie always get on the defense, because he know that because the lie knows that the truth is a one hitter quitter. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no question.
It's crazy because, like, it's not a secret that Hyphen X has dabbled and studied a lot of different religions, but I don't want to veer off. I want to come back. So the man and the woman, the original man, the original woman, they are the offsprings of God,
and the balance of the universe.
In the balance of the universe. So we're gonna get
so
to
that's
that
where
too.
you're going. That's where you're going. Going back to the original thought, how we can resolve this uneasiness on the planet, right?
Right.
And
So
it's through the black man and the black woman. If
So
if they get their stuff together, the whole planet would be back on this axle.
So what would be what's the responsibilities of this God and this goddess on this planet?
To complement one another. It's just like the universe, nature. Nature itself is God. Pay attention to the sun and the moon. You know, case in point, at nighttime when the moon is shining on the earth, that's not the moon shining on the earth, that's the sun that's sitting behind the moon.
Woo! That's
right?
that compliment, like you said, that complementary.
That's complementary. So if the balance of the black woman and the black man start being balanced, the whole world will get back balanced, because why? They're original.
Man, it's almost like when I'm a black man, I've had some black women, and I've seen black men, I've seen black women, I've seen relationships, I've seen ones that work, those that don't, and it's almost like we're always at each other. You know what I'm saying? Very rarely do you hear a person say, I'm happily married. I'm married. That's my wife. It's almost like, yeah, man, I've been married for I don't know, man, 10 years, man. It's like there's not a joy. It's like we're put against each other. It's like let me talk plain. It's almost as if we got caught up in the white man and the white woman's beef and forgot that we in this together, and somehow, some way, around, I'll say, feminism and the civil rights. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
That's because we continuously define ourselves through white relationships.
Ooh.
We ain't taking charge of nothing, man. We got to take charge. It's like when a woman say, I want a man. It ain't about you wanting a man. It's what type of man you want.
Yeah. There it is. Because
you understand?
Like, you can't judge everybody off of what you picked. Right. And that's man and woman. You know what I'm saying? That's man and woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't say that, all these men, black men do this, black men do that. No, the black men that you have encountered, that you have attracted, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is where you at. And the same thing for the black man who talks about the black woman. Like you said, we beefing with one another, but not understanding that we fighting over crumbs on a plate.
Yeah, we fighting outside projected influences.
Ooh.
You understand? We're fighting what's put out there for us to fight, which makes us disorderly with one another, because we ain't, because we fixed in a matrix. You understand what I'm saying? We fixed in a matrix, and once we get on the right track with one another and stop playing for crumbs, like you said, and understand the dynamics of how powerful and who we are, everything will be well with each other, and your whole world will be well.
Like, so we're understanding that. I'm going to keep reiterating that the black man and the black woman are the first male and the female on earth, and they have the DNA of God in them, and so therefore that makes them the gods and goddesses of the planet. And by being gods and goddesses of the planet, they have a responsibility to be complementary to each other for the betterment of the kingdom, if you will. So when you have the kingdom, how do you differentiate? Is there a difference between a god and a goddess and a king and a queen?
No, there's no difference. Those are functions and titles. It's just like being a Christ. Christ is not a name; it's a title.
Correct. The
God,
Christ.
King, all those are titles that you hold. You know what I'm saying? That you actually, you hold that rank. You know what I mean? But it ain't about, just by word, by namesake. You got to act on this attribute. You understand what I'm saying? It's
Real
like,
talk.
it's been, we've traded places, meaning that the woman is, see, there's a deceptive measure going on called gender divide, right? So what I mean by that is that if you pay attention, if they start talking about the black man issue, the woman will start screaming, well, what about our issue? And
Yeah.
we can't afford to do that. Your issue, my issue, the same. See, anytime we divide, it's a conquer demonstration going on. We can't afford to divide between who issues. We both in the same issue.
We in the same boat, man. We can't.
Yeah.
Like it's the same, man.
But those are strategies. Those are strategies that's used.
Yeah.
Those are those things that's put out there to keep us divided, even in the household.
Yeah, most definitely in the household, because a lot of the time, not in the household together. Like I remember one of the most demasculating moments in my life is when I had to put my name as spouse and not head a household on some some paperwork. And I remember when I did that, not only did my mental change, my woman's mental change too. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is my house. You know what I'm saying? I put you out of my house. Yo, what? Yo, this is our house. Like we in this together. No, I can be taken off. So it's all about remembering that we're, like you said, like we're in this together. The black man and the black woman come from the DNA of God, and that makes them gods and goddesses, and they need to work in unison. And when a god and a goddess works in unison, they take on different sectors of the kingdom, which makes them kings and queens working together to control and influence their region.
What has happened is this. We've been taken so far at the loop of who we are, where when we consider ourselves king or God, we do it for namesake and just because it sounds slick, right? Not knowing this is actually who you are. We do it because, okay, I'm a king or I'm the queen. No, the truth is you really are. That's your bloodline. You understand? But we don't know this. So we use for hip hop titles or whatever the case may be, not knowing that this is the truth.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
That music is deadly. That music crazy.
Right. So, we have to live up to who we say we are. You know what I mean?
How can we get right now off the top of your head, what can we do to live up to who we are?
Man, the young men have to come back home. They have to come back home and get it from the ancient ones because they got some mixed up thing. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't right. They science ain't right. So they have to come back home. We can't keep on going. We can't keep going in with that old against young and young against old. You're going to have to come get it from the ancients. And what ancient mean is not old. Ancient means when we were gods. They got to get a different kind of science because they out there in them streets and they just improving and they getting hit in the head. Bad.
Every time.
Yeah,
every
they
time.
get hit. Yeah.
I love the way you said that they out here improving because they're out here. They got a lot of action. You know what I'm saying? But that action has no guidance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a reckless idea. You know what I'm saying? They're acting on reckless ideas and a reckless
and the same
nation.
thing with the sisters.
Yeah.
Same thing with the sisters. The sisters gonna have to come back home to some of them ancient sisters. You understand what I'm saying? They're gonna have to really, instead of getting it the hard way, they can go ahead and come back and get re-educated. And then if they choose to go back out there, at least they go back out there equipped.
Now you're saying come back. You know what I'm saying? So that's putting that responsibility on the younger generation. Should not the older generation go out?
No. What for? What for? Go out there for what?
To gather the sheep.
No. I didn't go where? On the street corner and get them?
I gotta gather them some kind. You gotta meet them where they at.
No. They need to come on home. They need to come on home. They know where home is. They need to even the stray dog know where home is.
Yeah, I guess you're right. See, once again, my mind clicks back to the Bible. I think about the prodigal son. They didn't go. They didn't go get him.
They ain't gonna get him. He came home.
He came
You know
home.
what I'm saying? You know, yeah, they need to come on home, because if they don't come home, somebody gonna get them.
Are they going to discover that there's no place like home? You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right, and right now, they don't have no other place but refuge with the ancient ones.
Mm,
It's no other refuge. You know, the ark actually wasn't a boat.
yeah, I know, right?
Right. So, you know, the ark is seeking refuge with God, right?
Yeah, and there'll be some that could not seek refuge with God.
Where everybody couldn't get in the ark either.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be some people. That's that. Once again, that's that divine isolation. You know what I'm saying? It's the individuals working together for a common cause inside of one covenant, and there's some people that's not gonna get in that covenant. Like,
ain't no question.
It's just what it is. But everyone has an opportunity. Everyone has an opportunity to. You know what
I'm kind of guarded. You know, I'm kind of guarded. You know, I can't let everybody in the circle. So all four doors got a guard on it. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
You know, you just can't let anybody in. Everybody has to be screened.
Exactly. They taking temperatures at the door now. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody can't get in. Yeah, the door might be automatic, but you can't automatically get in. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So that's what we got to, you know, that's what we have when we talk about them feelings. We ain't in our feelings right now. We thinking with reason.
Yeah, and being logical and linear.
And we being gods and kings about it. That's how you rule. That's how we rule. You know?
That's real talk. Man, well, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here in a second, man. Let them know where they can find you and everything, bro.
Oh, man. Hey, guys. Hey, family. You can find me on Facebook Live on Mondays and Thursdays, 7 o'clock, live. The Elephant in the Room, Swift Angel, Dominick. Oh, man. Come check me out. You'll love it.
Most definitely, man. It's definitely a vibe over there, man. It was. I felt like I was at a sophisticated chess, like we was playing chess and a fish fry. That's how I felt.
That's where you was.
Yeah.
And that's where you was, right. Yeah, that's where you was, getting it right there.
All right, it was beautiful.
Hey, man, like I say, I appreciate you having me on the show, and this is also beautiful, brother.
Man,
You're
I appreciate it.
Brother, and you got my support. Why? Because energy travels in a circle.
Whew. I appreciate that because it does. It most definitely. No energy is ever wasted. Guys, always remember you can catch us here on Facebook at Great Conversation. Let's Talk. Follow us there. Also, you can catch us on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, and also going to be very soon here on Flight Radio 105.7 FM Sundays, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So after you get some of that good word, come get some more. All right.
All right.
All right. Come get some. Always. So I am the I am -X, and always remember, you don't always have to agree to have a great conversation. Peace.
Peace, God.